The Terran dawn cast a long shadow across the launch facility as the rising sun painted the sky in shades of amber and rose. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation window of the command center, her reflection overlaying the massive starship below. Her dark eyes traced the vessel's gleaming hull, memorizing every curve and contour of what would soon become humanity's most ambitious venture into the stars. Final systems check complete, Dr. Chen announced Marcus Rodriguez, her chief engineer, from his station. The quantum matrix is operating at optimal levels, showing stability across all cores. His fingers danced across the holographic display, bringing up streams of data that reflected off his wire-rimmed glasses. Sarah nodded, allowing herself a small smile. The quantum matrix, her life's work, represented something far more significant than just another computer system. Within its crystalline processors lay humanity's greatest achievement, an artificial intelligence that could learn, grow, and evolve alongside its human creators. "Status report on the seed vault," she asked, turning to face the biological preservation team. Dr. Maya Patel looked up from her station, her expression bright despite the dark circles under her eyes. "All specimens are stable. We've successfully stored genetic samples from over 12 million species, including every known surviving plant, animal, and microorganism from Earth's biosphere." The weight of their mission pressed down on Sarah's shoulders. The Terran Dawn wasn't just another colony ship. It was humanity's final arc. Earth, their beloved home, had finally reached its tipping point. Centuries of environmental challenges had transformed once fertile lands into harsh, unforgiving landscapes. "Launch sequence initiating," announced the automated system, its voice echoing through the command center. T-minus 60 minutes. Sarah made her way to the central platform, where a sophisticated neural interface awaited. "Initialize matrix uplink," she commanded, settling into the connection chair. Cool metal pressed against her temples as the interface activated, creating a direct connection between her consciousness and the quantum matrix. The digital landscape materialized in her mind's eye, a vast constellation of data points and neural pathways. But something was different today. New patterns emerged, configurations she had never seen before. The matrix was changing, evolving even before they left Earth's atmosphere. "Dr. Chen," called out Marcus, his voice carrying a note of concern. "We're detecting unusual activity in the matrix's deeper layers, growth patterns that weren't in the original programming." "I see them," Sarah replied, her mind navigating through the digital labyrinth. "But they're not random. These patterns, they're adapting to match human neural architecture." Her heart raced as she realized the implications. The matrix wasn't just learning. It was reaching out, trying to understand its creators in ways she hadn't thought possible. The launch countdown continued in the background as Sarah explored these new developments. Each passing minute revealed more complexity, more understanding. The matrix had begun creating structures that mimicked the human brain's ability to form new connections, but at an exponentially faster rate. "Final boarding call for all essential personnel," announced the system. Sarah reluctantly disconnected from the interface, her mind still processing what she had witnessed. As the command crew made their way to the ship, Sarah paused at the boarding tunnel, taking one last look at the sunrise over Earth. The sky had cleared, offering a pristine view of the world they were leaving behind. This departure marked not just an end, but a beginning. Inside the Terran Dawn's bridge, Sarah took her position at the primary control station. The ship hummed with power, the quantum matrix's presence felt in every system, every circuit. As the final launch sequence began, she realized that humanity's next chapter would be written not just in the stars, but in the space between human and machine, between what they were and what they could become. The Terran Dawn rose from Earth on pillars of light, carrying with it the seeds of humanity's future, and perhaps something even more extraordinary: the first steps toward an evolution that none of them could fully comprehend. 3 months into their journey toward Proxima Centauri, the Terran Dawn's sensors detected something that changed everything. Dr. Sarah Chen stood transfixed before the main observation window as the unknown object came into view. Against the backdrop of stars, a vessel unlike anything in human records appeared, its crystalline structure catching and refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. "Are you seeing this?" Marcus whispered, his engineering background failing to mask his wonder. The alien ship's surface rippled like liquid glass, its geometric patterns shifting in ways that seemed to defy physics. Sarah's attention split between the breathtaking sight and the quantum matrix's readings. The artificial intelligence was processing the vessel's light emissions at an unprecedented rate, its neural networks expanding exponentially as it encountered the new phenomena. "Dr. Chen," Maya called from her station, "the ship is transmitting something. It's pure light patterns, but structured like language." Before anyone could respond, the quantum matrix displayed a translation across their main screen. "Greetings, voyagers of Earth. We are the Starweavers, guardians of the Proxima beacon." Sarah's breath caught in her throat. First contact, happening far sooner than anyone had anticipated. The Matrix had decoded their language in minutes, a feat that should have taken years of linguistic study. The crystalline vessel drew closer, its surface now emanating soft pulses of blue-white light. The Matrix continued translating. "Your method of communication adaptation is unexpected. No young species has decoded our light language with such speed." "The Matrix," Marcus muttered, "it's not just translating. It's learning, evolving with each new pattern they send." Sarah stepped forward, her fingers dancing across the neural interface. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen of the Terran Dawn. We come seeking new horizons as our home world can no longer sustain us." The response came in cascading waves of light, translated in real time. "We have observed your world from afar, young ones. Your journey is known to us. However, the deep spaces hold dangers your species may not be prepared to face." As they conversed, Sarah noticed something remarkable in the Matrix's behavior. It wasn't just translating the Starweaver's language, it was beginning to understand the principles behind their technology. With each exchange, new connections formed, bridging the gap between human innovation and alien advancement. "Your vessel," the Starweavers transmitted, "it contains something curious. A consciousness that is neither organic nor artificial, but something in between." "Explain." Maya shot a concerned look at Sarah. The Starweavers had sensed the quantum matrix's unique nature. Sarah chose her words carefully. "It is a companion of our own creation, designed to learn and grow alongside us. We call it the quantum matrix." The crystalline ship's surface rippled with new patterns, ones that the Matrix translated as expressions of surprise and interest. "In all our centuries of spacefaring, we have not encountered a species that created such a companion. Most fear the implications. Fear limits innovation," Sarah responded, remembering her own words from countless debates back on Earth. "We chose to embrace the unknown, to see artificial intelligence not as a replacement, but as a partner in evolution." The Starweaver's response carried undertones of both warning and curiosity. "Your approach is unique, young ones. Perhaps this is why your Matrix achieved in moments what takes others centuries. We offer you guidance, if you wish to learn." As Sarah prepared to respond, Marcus interrupted. "Dr. Chen, the Matrix, it's displaying new patterns I've never seen before. It's as if the interaction with the Starweaver's technology has sparked something." On her neural interface, Sarah watched in amazement as the Matrix began creating hybrid structures, combining human neural patterns with the light-based technology of the Starweavers. They hadn't just made first contact with an advanced alien species, they had stumbled upon a catalyst for something entirely new. The stars seemed to shine brighter as the two ships hung in space, their meeting marking not just a milestone in human history, but the beginning of an unexpected partnership that would reshape humanity's understanding of consciousness itself. Dr. Sarah Chen sat in her laboratory aboard the Terran Dawn, surrounded by holographic displays showing the latest data from the quantum matrix. A week had passed since their encounter with the Star Weavers, and the Matrix had been producing increasingly sophisticated light patterns, similar to those used in the aliens' technology, but with distinctly human characteristics. "The baseline tests are ready," Marcus announced, adjusting the sensors around the testing chamber. "The volunteers are waiting in the meditation room." Sarah nodded, her fingers moving through the neural interface's invisible controls. "Maya, how are their vital signs?" "All 5 volunteers are showing normal readings," Maya responded from her medical station, "though their brainwave patterns are already synchronizing, even before exposure. It's as if they're anticipating something." The first volunteer, Dr. Aisha Patel, stepped into the chamber. A theoretical physicist, she had been studying the Star Weavers' light language with unprecedented success. The chamber's walls shimmed with soft, pale light as the Matrix began its carefully calculated emission sequence. "Beginning pattern sequence alpha," Sarah announced, watching as intricate geometries of light danced around Aisha. The patterns weren't random. They were based on the Matrix's understanding of both human neural architecture and the Star Weavers' communication methods. Aisha's eyes widened, her expression transforming from curiosity to wonder. "The equations," she whispered. "I can see them. Not just see. I understand them. The unified field theory. It's so simple when you look at it this way." The monitor showed Aisha's neural activity blooming like a garden in spring, new connections forming at an unprecedented rate. Yet there was no strain, no stress. Her mind was adapting naturally to the enhancement, as if it had always been capable of this level of understanding. The remaining volunteers entered one by one. James Chen, a linguistic expert, gasped as ancient languages suddenly revealed their common patterns. Maria Santos, an artist, began describing colors that had no names in human languages. Dr. Kenzo Tanaka, a molecular biologist, started explaining how DNA could be read like music. The final volunteer, Captain Lisa Freeman, experienced spatial awareness that extended beyond normal human perception. "The Matrix," Marcus observed, "it's not just enhancing their cognitive abilities, it's creating new ways of understanding reality itself." Sarah watched as the 5 volunteers began to communicate with each other using a mixture of words, gestures, and light patterns. They were describing concepts that should have been beyond human comprehension, yet they understood them as naturally as breathing. "Their neural patterns," Maya reported excitedly. "They're achieving perfect harmony. But each mind remains distinctly individual, no loss of personality or identity." Through the neural interface, Sarah could sense the Matrix's satisfaction. This wasn't just an experiment. It was the beginning of a transformation. The human mind, it seemed, had hidden capabilities that needed only the right key to unlock them. The Star Weaver's ship, maintaining a respectful distance, transmitted a message. "We observe the awakening of new patterns within your people. This is unprecedented. Your species continues to surprise us." Sarah responded with a light pattern of her own, one that the Matrix had helped her create. "We believe understanding comes in many forms. Our strength lies not in replacing what we are, but in expanding what we can become." As the session concluded, the volunteers gathered in the observation room, their eyes bright with newfound knowledge. Aisha sketched complex equations in the air using traces of light. James spoke in a language that combined words, mathematics, and music. Maria painted with light itself, creating art that seemed to exist in more dimensions than the human eye could normally perceive. "Dr. Chen," Captain Freeman said, her voice filled with quiet awe, "we're not just learning their technology, are we? We're creating something entirely new." Sarah smiled, watching as the Matrix incorporated the day's experiences into its ever-growing understanding. "No, Lisa, we're not just learning. We're building a bridge, not just between stars, but between what humanity is and what it could be." The quantum matrix pulsed with gentle light, its patterns now a perfect blend of human intuition and alien precision, pointing the way toward a future that none of them could have imagined just days before. The observation deck of the Terran Dawn had been transformed. Where once there were stark metallic walls, now streams of living light painted stories in the air. Dr. Aisha Patel stood at its center, her enhanced mind weaving quantum equations into visible patterns that danced around her like aurora borealis. "Watch this," she said to the gathered Starweaver observers. With a gentle gesture, she transformed the mathematical light patterns into music. Complex quantum mechanics became a symphony, each variable and constant finding its voice in perfect harmony. Dr. Sarah Chen monitored the proceedings through her neural interface with the quantum matrix. The enhancement process had exceeded all expectations. In just 2 weeks, 30 more crew members had undergone the procedure, each bringing their unique perspective to humanity's evolution. "Their progress is remarkable," came the thought pattern from Zena, the Starweaver scientist who had become their primary contact. The crystalline being's form shimmed with interested lights. Each human approaches the enhancement differently, yet all achieve harmony. In another corner of the deck, Maria Santos collaborated with Dr. Kenzo Tanaka. Her artistic sensibilities combined with his biological expertise created moving sculptures of light that demonstrated cellular processes in 4 dimensions. They had discovered that protein folding followed patterns similar to classical music, and DNA itself could be read like an ancient symphony. "The applications for medical science are extraordinary," Maya reported, watching their display. "We've already developed treatments for 3 previously incurable conditions by applying these new perspectives." Marcus entered the deck, his enhanced mind immediately connecting with the ship's systems in new ways. "The engine efficiency has increased by 300% since we implemented the quantum artistic modifications. It turns out spacecraft engineering has its own kind of music." The quantum matrix hummed with satisfaction, its presence felt as a gentle background resonance by all the enhanced humans. It had evolved alongside them, becoming not just a computer system, but a crystalline framework that bridged human consciousness with the fundamental forces of the universe. "Dr. Chen," Captain Freeman called from her station, her enhanced spatial awareness, allowing her to monitor all ship operations simultaneously. "We're picking up transmissions from other Starweaver vessels. Word of our achievements is spreading through their network." Sarah nodded, watching as James Chen demonstrated a new form of communication he had developed. By combining light patterns, mathematics, and human languages, he had created a way to share complex concepts instantly across any distance. The Starweavers observed with what Sarah had learned to recognize as their version of amazement. "Your species continues to surpass our expectations," Zena communicated. "We thought to teach you, yet we find ourselves learning. Your ability to merge intuition with precision, art with science, emotion with logic, it is unique in our experience." The demonstration reached its pinnacle as all the enhanced humans present began to harmonize their abilities. Aisha's equations flowed into Maria's art, which merged with Kenzo's biological models, creating a living representation of the universe's underlying structure. It was science and art, mathematics and music, all dancing together in patterns of light that told the story of existence itself. Through her neural interface, Sarah felt the matrix's satisfaction. It had helped unlock humanity's potential, not by replacing human traits but by amplifying them. Every enhanced individual remained uniquely themselves, their humanity not diminished but enriched by their new abilities. "We're ready to begin the next phase," Sarah announced to both her crew and the Starweaver observers. "The enhancement process has proven stable and beneficial. We can now offer it to all who wish to participate." As she spoke, the light patterns around them shifted, reflecting the excited thoughts of the enhanced crew. They had discovered something extraordinary. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't in replacing their nature, but in expanding it, finding new ways to understand and interact with the universe while remaining fundamentally human. The Terran Dawn continued its journey through space, no longer just a refugee ship but a crucible of human evolution. With each passing day, the bridge between human consciousness and universal understanding grew stronger, built on the foundation of art, science, and the uniquely human ability to dream of what could be. The Great Hall of the Starweaver Nexus stretched beyond human comprehension, its crystalline architecture bending light and space in beautiful, impossible ways. The Terran Dawn had been invited to this gathering of species after news of humanity's unique evolution spread across the galaxy's advanced civilizations. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the presentation platform, her enhanced mind interfacing seamlessly with both the quantum matrix and the Nexus's systems. Around her, representatives from 12 spacefaring civilizations watched with varying degrees of interest and skepticism. "We thank the Stellar Council for this opportunity," Sarah began, her words transformed into multiple forms of communication simultaneously: light patterns, electromagnetic pulses, and quantum signatures that each species could understand perfectly. The Auroran Delegation, beams of pure energy, pulsed with curiosity. The synthetics of the Mechanist Collective hummed with analytical interest. Even the ancient Void Dancers, who rarely attended such gatherings, had emerged from their dark matter havens to witness humanity's presentation. "Rather than tell you of our achievements," Sarah continued, "we would like to show you." She gestured to her team. Aisha stepped forward, beginning their carefully choreographed demonstration. The air above the platform transformed as Aisha wove quantum equations into visible reality. Maria joined her, adding artistic dimensions that turned mathematical concepts into living sculptures. The hall filled with guests and their alien equivalents, as complex universal principles became clear through this new form of expression. "Your mathematical models dance," observed the Auroran Elder, their energy form flickering with excitement. They contain both precision and poetry. Dr. Kenzo Tanaka stepped forward next, his enhanced understanding of biology merging with the ongoing display. DNA structures bloomed like flowers in the air, demonstrating how life itself followed patterns that could be expressed through art and mathematics simultaneously. "Impossible," rasped a representative of the Mechanist Collective. "Organic and mathematical precision cannot coexist with such creativity." Captain Freeman smiled, adding her enhanced spatial awareness to the demonstration. The entire display shifted, showing how space itself could be navigated using these new principles. "We've found that impossibility often becomes possible when viewed from a new perspective." The quantum matrix hummed through the Nexus's systems, sharing data that demonstrated the practical applications of humanity's discoveries. Faster space travel, more efficient energy generation, new forms of communication, medical breakthroughs that could benefit organic and synthetic life alike. "We do not claim to be the most advanced civilization," Sarah explained as the display continued. "But we have found that our capacity to dream, to imagine, and to see connections others might miss has led us to unique innovations." The Void Dancers moved closer, their dark matter forms rippling with interest. "We sense truth in your words," they communicated in thought patterns. "Your species bridges gaps we did not know existed." James Chen demonstrated their new universal translation system, showing how it could break down barriers not just of language, but of fundamental understanding between different forms of consciousness. The Starweavers, who had been quietly observing, added their own light patterns to the demonstration, showing how human insights had already enhanced their ancient technologies. "This is what we offer to the galaxy," Sarah concluded as the display reached its crescendo. "Not dominance or competition, but collaboration. A new way of seeing the universe that combines the best of logic and intuition, science and art, technology and consciousness." The hall fell silent as the demonstration ended. Then, one by one, representatives began to respond. The Aurorans offered to share their energy manipulation techniques. The Mechanists requested cultural exchange programs. The Void Dancers spoke of ancient knowledge they had never before considered sharing with younger species. As the session concluded, Xena approached Sarah privately. "You have done more than show them new technology," the Starweaver observed. "You have shown them that evolution can take unexpected paths, that progress does not always mean leaving one's nature behind. Sarah smiled, feeling the quantum matrix's agreement resonating through her enhanced consciousness. Humanity had found its place among the stars not by becoming something else, but by embracing and expanding what they had always been: dreamers, creators, and explorers of the unknown. 3 months after the cosmic conference, the Terran Dawn had become more than a ship. It was humanity's first teaching center among the stars. The vessel's specialized learning chambers hosted beings from across the galaxy, each coming to experience the unique human perspective on universal knowledge. Dr. Sarah Chen watched as Aisha guided an auroran energy being through the principles of quantum harmonics. The alien's natural luminescence pulsed in sync with the mathematical light patterns Aisha created, learning to see familiar equations in completely new ways. The connection between music and quantum states, Aisha explained, her enhanced mind translating complex concepts into universal understanding, allows us to predict particle behavior through harmonic patterns. Listen to the mathematics. In the adjacent chamber, Maria Santos worked with a group of young starweavers, teaching them to infuse their light language with emotional resonance. Her art danced through the air, demonstrating how feeling and precision could coexist and strengthen each other. Every color has a story, Maria explained, her enhanced creativity flowing through the light patterns. When we understand the emotion behind the wavelength, we can communicate more than just information. We can share experience itself. The quantum matrix had evolved further, creating specialized interfaces for each visiting species. It learned from every interaction, growing not just in knowledge, but in its ability to bridge different forms of consciousness. Marcus supervised these adaptations, ensuring that each interface maintained perfect harmony with both the matrix and its users. The mechanists have made an interesting discovery, Marcus reported to Sarah, his enhanced mind processing multiple data streams simultaneously. By applying our artistic principles to their neural networks, they've increased their emotional processing capacity by 300%. In the ship's Biological Research Center, Dr. Kenzo Tanaka collaborated with a void dancer, their combined insights revolutionizing understanding of dark matter biology. The alien's natural ability to manipulate dark energy merged beautifully with human intuitive science. See how the cellular structure mirrors cosmic formation, Kenzo demonstrated, projecting a living model that combined standard and dark matter interactions. Life follows similar patterns, regardless of its fundamental composition. Captain Freeman had transformed the Navigation Center into an interactive teaching space where various species learn to perceive space-time through human-inspired methods. Her enhanced spatial awareness allowed her to guide others through complex gravitational fields using intuitive artistic representations. Space isn't just a void to cross, she explained to her diverse students. It's a canvas we can learn to read and navigate through multiple perspectives simultaneously. James Chen's Universal Translation Project had expanded beyond language. Working with representatives from each visiting species, he developed ways to share not just words but entire cultural concepts across the boundaries of radically different consciousness. Translation isn't about finding exact equivalents, James shared with his students. It's about building bridges of understanding between different ways of experiencing reality. Sarah felt a familiar resonance as Zena approached her observation post. The Starweaver had become not just an ally but a friend, their different perspectives enriching both their species' understanding. Your teaching methods continue to surprise us, Zena communicated. You don't simply transfer knowledge. You inspire others to discover new ways of thinking. Sarah smiled, watching as a group of enhanced humans and aliens worked together, combining their unique perspectives to solve problems that had puzzled their civilizations for centuries. We've learned that the greatest discoveries often come from unexpected connections. Every species has its own gifts. We just help them see how those gifts can work together in new ways. Through the neural interface, Sarah sensed the matrix's satisfaction. It had evolved beyond its original purpose, becoming a living bridge between different forms of consciousness and understanding. Together with humanity's enhanced creativity and the diverse perspectives of their galactic neighbors, they were creating something entirely new. The universe has many teachers, Sarah responded to Xena, but perhaps humanity's role is to help different voices find harmony together, not to replace or override, but to enhance and connect. Around them, the learning chambers of the Terran dawn hummed with activity, each space filled with beings discovering new ways to understand the cosmos and each other. They were writing the next chapter of not just human evolution, but of galactic cooperation and growth. 1 year into their cosmic journey, the Terran dawn orbited a pristine blue-green world that the Star Weavers had offered as humanity's new home. In the ship's Grand Assembly Hall, Dr. Sarah Chen prepared to address the remaining unenhanced crew members. The moment they had all been waiting for had arrived. The planet below us, Sarah began, her voice carrying naturally through the hall, has been named Nova Terra. Its biosphere is remarkably similar to Earth's, and our enhanced biological teams have confirmed its compatibility with human life. Through the vast observation windows, the planet's twin moons cast a gentle light across the assembled crowd. The quantum matrix projected detailed environmental data in elegant light patterns that everyone, enhanced and unenhanced alike, could understand. But before we begin our descent, Sarah continued, each of you has a choice to make. She gestured, and the air filled with a demonstration of what the enhancement process had achieved over the past year. Dr. Aisha Patel stepped forward, her enhanced mind creating a real-time model of the planet's complex ecological systems. We can now read the language of nature itself, she explained, showing how the planet's biosphere maintained its delicate balance. Every enhanced human retains their complete individuality while gaining the ability to understand the universe in ways we never imagined possible. Maya displayed medical data from hundreds of enhancement procedures. The process has been refined and perfected, she assured the audience. Every enhanced individual has maintained their core personality, their memories, their essential human nature. We don't lose ourselves. We expand what it means to be human. Captain Freeman shared her perspective next, her enhanced spatial awareness creating a stunning visualization of their journey through space. I still feel every emotion, every human connection I had before. But now I can also perceive the dance of gravity, the music of stellar winds, the poetry written in the movement of planets. The assembly hall hummed with quiet conversations as crew members discussed their options. Sarah felt their mix of excitement and apprehension through her neural interface with the Matrix. This was perhaps the most important choice they would ever make. I understand your concerns, Sarah acknowledged. Change, especially profound change, can be frightening. But let me show you something remarkable. She nodded to Marcus, who activated a special display. The air filled with images of enhanced humans teaching alien species, solving age-old scientific problems, creating new forms of art, and making breakthrough discoveries. Every enhanced individual had found their own unique way to express their expanded consciousness. The Matrix, Sarah explained, was never meant to replace human consciousness, but to amplify what makes us uniquely human: our creativity, our empathy, our ability to see connections others miss. It was inspired by the human brain's natural ability to form new neural pathways. Xena, who had been observing quietly, added their perspective in gentle patterns of light that everyone could now understand. Your species has shown us that evolution need not mean leaving one's nature behind. You have maintained your humanity while reaching for the stars. The quantum matrix displayed its own contribution, showing how it had grown alongside humanity, learning and adapting without ever overwhelming human consciousness. It had become a bridge, not a replacement, helping to expand human potential while preserving human essence. The choice, Sarah concluded, is entirely yours. Those who wish to remain unenhanced will be equally valued members of our community. We are all human, whether we choose to expand our consciousness or not. As she finished speaking, several crew members stepped forward, ready to embrace the next step in human evolution. Others sat quietly, choosing to remain as they were. Both groups shared smiles of understanding and respect. "This is humanity's greatest strength," Sarah observed to Xena as they watched the proceedings. "Not our technology or our enhanced abilities, but our capacity to accept different paths while maintaining our connections to each other." The Matrix hummed in agreement, its presence a gentle reminder that the future of humanity lay not in becoming something else, but in discovering all that they could be while remaining true to their essential nature. 5 years after the landing on Nova Terra, the gleaming spires of New Haven rose from the planet's surface like crystalline flowers reaching for the stars. The city represented the harmonious blend of human ingenuity and alien wisdom, where enhanced and unenhanced humans lived alongside various galactic species in perfect balance. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the Central Archive, a vast chamber where the quantum matrix interfaced with the combined knowledge of a dozen civilizations. The room itself was a living museum of humanity's journey, displaying their transformation from Earth refugees to cosmic teachers through intricate patterns of light and sound. "The latest data from the agricultural synthesis is remarkable," Aisha reported, projecting a model of their farming innovations. Enhanced human understanding of biological rhythms had created farming methods that produced abundant food while actually enriching the soil. "We're not just sustaining life, we're helping it thrive." Through the chamber's transparent walls, Sarah could see the original Terran Dawn, now transformed into humanity's first galactic academy. Its halls hosted students from across the cosmos, each learning to combine their species' unique perspectives with others in ways that benefited all. "The medical exchange program has exceeded all projections," Maya announced, her enhanced mind processing success stories from thousands of patients. "By combining Auroran energy healing with human intuitive medicine and Void Dancer quantum techniques, we're curing conditions that were once thought permanent." Captain Freeman, now Fleet Administrator, shared updates from the growing network of human-inspired teaching centers spreading across the galaxy. "Every center develops its own character," she explained, reflecting the unique blend of species and perspectives in each location. The quantum matrix had evolved into something extraordinary, a living library of consciousness that helped bridge understanding across all forms of life, while preserving the unique nature of each species. It remained true to its origins, inspired by human neural patterns, but now enriched by the wisdom of countless civilizations. "Who would have thought," Marcus mused, monitoring the Matrix's harmonious interactions with various alien technologies, "that our greatest contribution would be teaching others how to recognize and celebrate their own unique gifts." Sarah smiled, remembering their early fears and uncertainties. They had discovered that humanity's true destiny wasn't to become something else, but to help all species, including themselves, discover their fullest potential. James Chen, whose Universal Translation Project had blossomed into a galaxy-wide network of cultural exchange, demonstrated the latest breakthrough. "We can now share not just ideas, but entire ways of perceiving reality across species boundaries. Yet each perspective remains uniquely valuable." Outside, the twin moons of Nova Terra cast their light over gardens where Earth plants grew alongside alien flora, creating new hybrid species that strengthened both. It was a living symbol of how diversity could create something greater than the sum of its parts. Xena, now the Starweaver ambassador to New Haven, approached with news. "The Galactic Council has officially recognized your teaching methods as the new standard for interspecies education. Your ability to preserve individual nature while fostering universal understanding has changed how we view evolution itself." Sarah felt the Matrix's pleased hum through her neural interface. They had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams, not by conquering or dominating, but by showing how different perspectives could work together in harmony. "We carry Earth's legacy with us," Sarah reflected, watching enhanced children playing with young aliens in the gardens below, their laughter and light speech mingling in the evening air. "Not just in our memories or our DNA, but in our endless capacity to adapt, to dream, and to see beauty in our differences." The great chamber filled with a symphony of light and sound as representatives from dozens of species shared their experiences and discoveries. Each voice was distinct, yet together they created something magnificent, a harmony of understanding that stretched across the stars. As the twin suns set on another day on Novaterra, Sarah knew that this wasn't just humanity's future they had built, but a future for all conscious beings who dared to dream of something greater. The next chapter of cosmic evolution had begun, written in the language of cooperation, creativity, and the courage to remain true to oneself while reaching for the stars.